Alrighty, what's up everybody? So I'll publish this picture right here, this exact one on my social media on Instagram, and it triggered much debate amongst you guys. Now, the top one is of course the IFBB pro Regan Grimes, who just placed second in the Canadian Vancouver Pro, and also he's going to compete quite soon in Tampa, Florida, to try to gain basically his access to Mr. Olympia. We'll see how it goes. You guys know this kid by now. He's really young, right? As a matter of fact, he's the same age as Bostin Loyd. Now, you also know that Bostin Loyd called him out repeatedly, and he is still doing it. He just did it like right now. This is the subject of this video. Now, the majority of the answers, of course, about this front double biceps, they gave it to Regan, right? Now, Bostin wrote back to me, told me, bro, I'm off season in this picture. Well, he is, he is in competition shape, which is true. That's that. But nonetheless, I mean, as I mentioned, I love Bostin. I love because he's outspoken, right? And he just posted lately, actually, about 2 days ago. I don't know if he was serious. He wants to be a pro, or actually, he wants to entertain the idea of being a pro. Not IFBB, of course, but something called NSO, whatever that is. Probably it's a different federation. Aware me, guys, I don't know it. I don't know it. As a matter of fact, for me, IFBB is not that great anymore. So NSO, even less, right? Anyway, but of course, the majority, as I mentioned, they gave it to Regan Grimes. Just the metrics are just better. He flows better. The symmetry, the proportions, the bubble gut, or at least, not at least, but the lack of it, in a sense. And Bostin just published this right now, or republished it, as you guys can see, about 2 hours ago. He said, I gotta repost this. The dude on the left looks like a bag of marshmallows. So he's talking about Regan Grimes again. Only guy I know that steps on stage with off-season squirrel cheeks. Now, Regan is my friend as well, so he wrote to me like a minute later, told me, bro, this guy is trying to gain traction on me via my social media and this and that. He already did this with what's his name, with some other pros back in the day, right? He was referring to Dallas McCarver. Now, for the record, indeed, there was some scrimmage between Dallas and Bostin Loyd. As far as I know, it happened because Bostin went on a magazine and he criticized the fact that Bostin Loyd made a very viral video back in the day called like the truth about bodybuilding or things like that, when he exposed his consumption of the vitamin S, and it went viral. He spoke about the 3cc, the oil, and this and that. And well, Bostin, what's his name? Dallas was trying to keep the politically correct line on a magazine, so he did not salute that in a sense. And then Bostin came back to him. As far as I recall, he did accuse him of using oil in his butt. I'm talking about the glutes, right? Anyway, then he removed that video. But that's a long time ago. Now, all these guys are the same age, more or less, right? Now, when Regan wrote to me, he told me, bro, on this picture, I'm off season. I'm off season, and his off season, according to him, is off the thing for like 5 months of the year. So he's doing it like old school. If you guys remember, like the days of Arnold, these guys were not consuming the vitamin S all year long. They were not even cruising, right? They had an off season where they were pretty much off the thing, which is absolutely true back in the 80s, right? Also some of the early 90s, but then it stopped. Right now, they blast and cruise all day, for life, for a decade at least, you know what I mean? That's that. Anyway, yeah, so Bostin likes this picture when he is absolutely anabolic, all the veins, all the oil. So you need to comprehend that the size of the arm of Bostin is not all muscle, right? There's a lot of scar tissue there, and there's a lot of oil. I mean, he documented that. He documented the fact that his arm got bigger while consuming the oil. I mean, here's the famous 3cc. As a matter of fact, the latest video he made, he said, bro, I'm putting so much oil, I don't have time to put synthol. So there is no need to put synthol, because all the compounds he's put in it's already oily, as you guys know. All the vitamins come in oil, right? So that stretches the fascia of the muscle. It acts like freaking SEO. So it's like site enhancing oils without wanting it, right? Because the guys who consume a lot, like Bostin Loyd, he doesn't pin or basically consume the vitamin S just in his butt, like EOD, right? Like every other day. No. I mean, he has to put it somewhere else because there's not enough spots. The butt is not enough, right? So it goes everywhere, man. I made a video, as you guys know, with CT the Freak, right? Is my friend. His name is Crossland. He wants to reach 400 pounds. That dude documented his consumption of the vitamins. He was doing it in his calves, in his quadriceps, triceps, biceps, both heads, you name it. Any spot available, he was pinning. I mean, freaking calves, man. Put in the vitamin T, if you guys know what I mean, the vitamin T, right? Anyways, you guys can read here. One guy asked him, bro, you need to compete again and bring back the big daddy, right? So Bostin replied, no competing for me, especially with a torn pec. The new goal for me is to troll pros while I'm sitting on a couch and save money. He's doing it rather efficiently, and right now, the guy he's concentrating and he's zeroing in is Regan. People speculate why. I don't know. You tell me. Both are the same age, more or less the same height, and when one is an IFBB pro and is a newcomer, supposedly bringing back the aesthetics, this and that, and Bostin is not, right? Is he butthurt? You tell me. I don't know. I hope, Bostin, if I ask him a question, the problem with Bostin is that he is straightforward. So I'm going to ask him the question straight up. Bostin Loyd, are you freaking butthurt? Are you jealous? Are you envious of a guy that basically accomplished the pro status and placed in second in a pro show in his first year? And he did not do it, right? So I'll ask him. I will see his response. And one of you actually did ask him that. Column, not Column Van Monger, but this column here. He's told him, bro, step on stage with him or shut the F up. So the answer of Bostin was, I'm not a pro level. I don't know what he means. If this guy is not a pro level or he is not a pro level, I don't know. But it is what it is. So Bostin is not backing off. And straight up, if you want my opinion, I think that Bostin probably is a little bit envious, has a little bit of nostalgia, because he's already retired for several reasons. I think that Bostin consumed a lot of vitamin S to a certain level that his body responds no more. You know, those receptors are pretty much fried, in my opinion. He has a serious bubble, trouble, quadruple gut bonanza. He's the epitome of it. His gut is out of control. I think that Bostin, my friend, has some obsession with the thing and is somehow drugged up by it. I mean, his demeanor when he says, bro, he opens the fridge 8 times a day. 8 times a day to salute the vitamins, the GHRP and shit. He doesn't even know what he was taking, he said. I was just taking everything, right? And he goes on forums and he hears Jim Bros saying this stock is legit. He buys it. He believes he buys it. Next thing you know, he confessed that the thing he was buying is bullshit. I mean, the quantity of the vitamin G he used to take last year is absolutely mind-boggling, and the money he drawn in this consuming weird passion or obsession, for that matter, is absolutely staggering. I mean, that video, I made a collage of it. You know what? I'm gonna put it in this video at the end just to remind the youngsters. The just part of his humongous consumption. It is just unbelievable, right? So I think he overused it. He just overused it. Where is the guy, Regan Grimes? And again, this is not his real picture. He's not in shape. When I see him in shape, this is him right now. Definitely more diets, more conditions, so on and so forth. This guy is on the moderate side. Moderate side. I was talking to him on a regular. So I guarantee you that it's not the same level, not the same methodology in a sense, not the same way of thinking, right? Regan is off for a long period of a year, almost half of a year. He's just a regular dude, functioning with water and food, right? Bostin, bro, Bostin, as much as I love him, but he is definitely a chemical experiment. If you guys remember Saddam Hussein back in the day, that was one of his generals. His name was Chemical Ali. Chemical Ali. I think that Bostin Loyd is freaking Chemical Ali. His freaking Doctor Who, for Lord's sake. I tell you that much. You take a look at his blood. I mean, freaking Chernobyl is more freaking organic than his blood test, for Lord's sake. I mean, Bostin Loyd, probably when you do a blood test, you will see like blood cells. You will see anti whatever. How do you call it in English? You know, the thing that fights the bacteria in your blood. Antibodies. That's it. You say antibodies. You say juice floated. You'll see oil. You'll see all kinds of poisoning and heavy metals. It's crazy. I mean, in his body, there's a warfare going on between biological stuff, like organic bodily stuff for that matter, made by his body, and exogenous stuff that he ingested throughout the years. And he went extensive. It was done in a short period of time between the age of 19 until now, so more or less 3 or 4 years max. It was a concentrated cocktail of all kinds of stuff. You name the thing, he took it. You open the book of your chemistry, Bostin Loyd was there and done it. And that's it. So I'll start you wherever you are. You guys tell me what you think about. So my question for you, do you think that Bostin is doing this vendetta out of pure jealousy or envy because he is not a pro? He was not able to accomplish what these guys, Regan and also Dallas, were able to accomplish at the same age of his? Or is he right? Do you agree with Bostin Loyd that he is just a superior bodybuilder, that he will beat a guy like Regan on stage, and he's not doing it just because of politics? Thank you for listening to me, and keep watching because I will attach the other video here. Be saluted.